Imagine living in a world where distractions constantly battle for your attention, endless notifications, noise from every direction, and the pressure to juggle multiple tasks at once. In such a world, true focus feels like a superpower, a rare ability that only a few can master. But what if I told you that centuries ago, one man understood the mechanics of focus so deeply that his insights can still transform our minds today? That man was Niccolò Machiavelli, the Renaissance philosopher, political thinker, and strategist, often misunderstood as being only about power and manipulation. But hidden in his writings is a blueprint for mental sharpness, a method to cut through the fog of distraction and achieve laser-like concentration. In this video, we are going to explore Machiavelli's method step by step. By the end, you will discover how to use his timeless wisdom to strengthen your mind, sharpen your discipline, and boost your focus by an incredible 200%. Let's begin. Part 1. The Power of Ruthless Clarity. Machiavelli believed that the mind, just like a kingdom, cannot be ruled by chaos. To govern effectively, you must first decide what matters most. In the same way, to focus deeply, you must cut away what is unessential. He wrote that a leader who tries to please everyone ends up pleasing no one, and a mind that tries to chase every thought ends up catching nothing. This is the first principle of Machiavelli's focus method: ruthless clarity. Think of your attention like sunlight. If you let it spread across everything, it only warms the surface. But if you concentrate it through a magnifying glass, it can ignite fire. Your focus works the same way. Without ruthless clarity, it remains scattered and weak. With clarity, it becomes unstoppable. In practice, this means defining one single priority and making it the center of your mental energy. Machiavelli advised princes to choose their battles wisely, knowing that power is lost when divided. You too must choose your mental battles wisely. Decide what deserves your attention today and eliminate what does not. Ask yourself, what is the one task that truly moves me forward? What distractions are pretending to be important, but actually waste my energy? What must I cut away so my focus becomes sharp as a blade? Machiavelli's method begins with saying no, a word that protects your attention like walls protect a fortress. When you defend your mind from distractions, you create the mental clarity that multiplies your focus by 200%. Part 2. Discipline as the prince of the mind. If clarity is the foundation, discipline is the ruler. Machiavelli observed that a prince who cannot command discipline will soon lose control of his state. Likewise, a person who cannot discipline their own habits will lose control of their focus. Focus is not just about intention, it is about daily training. Machiavelli's writings show us that greatness does not come from a single burst of effort, but from relentless consistency. He noted that fortune favors those who prepare, and preparation requires discipline. In today's world, discipline means creating a structure that protects your attention. For example, designing your environment so distractions cannot easily reach you. Setting specific times for deep work, just as rulers set specific times for counsel. Training your brain to resist temptations, the way Machiavelli trained leaders to resist easy but dangerous choices. Discipline is the invisible hand that guides your focus. Without it, clarity fades into chaos. With it, your mind becomes a kingdom where every thought obeys your command. And here is the secret Machiavelli would remind us of. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It frees you from being a slave to distraction. It frees you from the endless loop of starting and stopping, of being busy but never productive. When discipline governs your mind, focus multiplies. It is as if Machiavelli himself whispers, "He who controls himself controls the world." Part 3. The Art of Strategic Withdrawal. Machiavelli understood something most people still ignore. Focus is not only about pressing forward, but also about knowing when to step back. He observed that a wise leader avoids battles he cannot win because wasted effort destroys strength. In the same way, your mind must learn the art of strategic withdrawal. Distraction often disguises itself as opportunity. You may feel the temptation to say yes to every request, every notification, every new project. But in truth, every yes divides your attention and weakens your focus. Machiavelli warns us that a kingdom stretched too thin invites its own downfall. A mind stretched too thin suffers the same fate. Strategic withdrawal means refusing what does not serve your higher purpose. It means stepping back from tasks that look urgent but are not important. It means conserving your energy for what truly matters. Imagine your attention as an army. If you send soldiers to fight on too many fronts, they will be exhausted and defeated. But if you withdraw from unnecessary battles, your army remains powerful and decisive. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. Machiavelli reminds us that power is not measured by how much you do, but by how effectively you use your strength. When you strategically withdraw from distractions, you protect your inner kingdom and sharpen your ability to focus with precision. So the next time your phone calls for you, or a shallow task tries to claim your energy, ask yourself, does this serve my higher purpose? Or is this a battle I must withdraw from? In your answer lies the difference between wasted energy and multiplied focus. Part 4. The role of environment as a fortress. Machiavelli often compared a ruler's city to a fortress. A strong fortress protects against external threats, while a weak one invites invasion. In the same way, your environment is the fortress of your focus. If your surroundings are weak, distractions will invade and conquer your attention. If your environment is strong, your focus will remain protected and unshakable. Machiavelli advised princes to study the structure of their defenses. He urged them to build walls high, gates strong, and supplies abundant. For us, this translates into designing an environment that minimizes temptation and maximizes concentration. Think of your workspace. Is it filled with noise, clutter, and constant interruption? If so, you have built a fortress with open gates. Any distraction can walk right in. Instead, you must design your space as Machiavelli would design a citadel. Intentional, guarded, and resistant to invasion. This means removing unnecessary clutter that steals your mental energy. It means turning off notifications that act as spies inside your fortress. It means creating physical and digital boundaries that shield your focus from attack. When your environment is built like a fortress, your mind feels safe to dive deep into concentration. But Machiavelli also warned, a fortress alone is not enough if the ruler himself is careless. The same is true for you. Even in a perfect environment, discipline and clarity must guide you. Yet without a fortress, even the strongest discipline can collapse. Build your environment as your fortress, and your focus will be defended against the endless distractions of the modern world. Part 5. The mastery of timing. Perhaps one of Machiavelli's most profound lessons is the mastery of timing. He observed that even the most powerful leaders fall when they act at the wrong moment. Victory belongs not only to those with strength, but to those who strike at the precise time. Focus, too, has its timing. There are hours in your day when your mind is sharp, alive, and capable of extraordinary depth. And there are hours when your energy is drained, when focus slips through your fingers no matter how hard you try. Machiavelli would remind us that the wise do not fight battles at their weakest hour. They choose the battlefield, the moment, and the conditions that favor them. To multiply your focus, you must discover your personal peak hours, the time when your mind is at its strongest. For some, it is the early morning when silence rules the world. For others, it is late at night, when distractions fade into the darkness. Identify your peak focus period and guard it fiercely. Do your most important work then, just as a ruler would only march into battle at dawn when his army was rested. But timing is not only about hours of the day. It is also about seasons of effort. There are moments to push forward with intensity, and moments to rest so you can fight stronger tomorrow. Machiavelli teaches us that those who ignore timing, who who act blindly without rhythm, are like rulers who march into battle unprepared. They guarantee their own defeat. To master timing is to align your focus with the natural rhythm of your energy. It is to know when to advance, when to hold, and when to retreat. In doing so, you do not merely work. You command your mind like a general commands an army. And when you master timing, your focus does not just double. It expands with the precision of a strategist who never wastes a single move. Part 6. The power of single-minded obsession. Machiavelli believed that divided loyalty weakens kingdoms and divided focus weakens minds. To him, greatness is never the result of scattered effort, but of single-minded obsession. He observed that leaders who rise above the rest do so because they commit themselves entirely to one vision, one mission, one goal. The same applies to your focus. If you want to multiply it by 200%, you must learn the art of single-minded obsession. This means immersing yourself so deeply into your chosen task that distractions simply fade into irrelevance. When you are obsessed, the phone no longer calls your name. The noise of the world fades into silence, and your mind becomes a laser burning through resistance, cutting through complexity, and driving you toward completion. But obsession is not chaos. Machiavelli reminds us that obsession must be disciplined, guided, and purposeful. An uncontrolled obsession consumes, but a directed obsession creates power. Imagine a river. When water spreads aimlessly, it forms a swamp. But when channeled into a single current, it forms a torrent that can power entire cities. Your focus works the same way. Obsession is the current, and direction is the channel. Choose your one goal and allow yourself to dive into it with fearless intensity. Protect it with the same ferocity. Machiavelli advised rulers to protect their thrones. Let nothing interrupt your progress. With single-minded obsession, you will discover that focus is not just an ability, it is a force that bends reality in your favor. Part 7. Turning focus into power. Machiavelli never wrote about focus as a passive quality. For him, focus was a form of power, one that could shift fortunes, win wars, and shape destiny. He taught that a ruler's strength is not in his words, but in his ability to act with precision. The same is true for your mind. Focus that is not used becomes wasted potential. Focus that is transformed into action becomes unstoppable power. Here lies the final step of Machiavelli's method, turning focus into power. Once you have clarity, discipline, strategic withdrawal, a fortress-like environment, mastery of timing, and single-minded obsession, you must channel all of these into decisive action. Do not allow your sharpened focus to remain trapped as thought. Direct it into creating, building, moving forward. This is where true transformation happens. A focused mind is not merely peaceful, it is productive. It writes the book, builds the business, masters the skill, shapes the body, and achieves the dream. Machiavelli would remind us, power belongs to those who act,
not those who only plan.
When you act with focused intensity, your results compound. What would take months for a distracted mind can take weeks for a focused one. What would take years can collapse into months. Focus becomes the engine of accelerated success. This is why Machiavelli's method is not about a small improvement, but about multiplying your focus by 200%, a force that doubles, triples, and magnifies your potential. Ending. The Machiavellian path to unshakable focus. Now you have walked through Machiavelli's 7 principles of focus: ruthless clarity, discipline as the prince of the mind, strategic withdrawal, the fortress of environment, the mastery of timing, single-minded obsession, and the transformation of focus into power. Together they form a blueprint for mental mastery, a method as relevant today as it was in the Renaissance. Remember this: the modern world thrives on stealing your attention. Every notification, every distraction, Every shallow demand is designed to pull you away from your true purpose. To live with focus is to rebel against this world of noise. It is to stand firm like a ruler defending his kingdom. Machiavelli's wisdom is not about cold manipulation alone. It is about power. And the greatest power you can command is mastery over your own mind. When you rule your attention, you rule your destiny. When you multiply your focus, you multiply your life. So take these principles and apply them now. Build your fortress. Guard your timing. Withdraw from distractions. Discipline your habits. Obsess with purpose. And above all, turn your focus into action. This is the Machiavellian method for unshakable focus. Apply it and you will not merely work, you will conquer. Apply it and your mind will not only sharpen, it will ignite. Apply it and you will truly boost your focus by 200%. Thank you for watching. If this video inspired you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom from the greatest philosophers in history. Until next time, rule your focus and let your focus rule the world.